Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Today, we'll be going through distortions and overdrives, how they're useful on bass, and some of my favorite ones, and also my settings and things like that, and why I use certain things and why I don't use other things. Okay? So, what you just heard there was the first three were, well, let's start here. All of those were on the B6, the Zoom B6, right? So they're also available on the um, B24 and the MS60B Plus, right? So yeah, so I break overdrive and distortions down into three different types, really. One is like the regular pedal overdrive and distortion by itself, which is like the big muff type thing. And then there's like preamp overdrive and distortion type stuff like the Sans amp drivers and MXR, DI Plus, things like that. Stretching a little bit. And then also and then there's amp distortions, and which tend to be more like tube overdrive. You know, it's more overdrive for amps. Overdriven amps. So I love the three different types. These are not my favorites right here on the B6. On it, and you also the last one you heard, the last two different ones you heard were the B15 and SVT on the SGT preamp. So good variety of stuff. One newer pedal. I mean, both of these are new, but one newer preamp. Type deal. So let's jump right into it. In case you were wondering, here's the settings I had on the NYC muff, and this is not. This is okay. I don't really like this one. That's too. That's a little out of my way. I would. Let me see what I gotta do here. Let me go ahead get these out the way. Don't need that right now. And so let's go ahead and change this. I actually like this one quite a bit. And this is actually an RC boost into a Ibanez tube screamer. You know, so and you can change that order. You can have it the tube screamer going into the boost, but I prefer the boost going into there. And let's see what we got here, tone wise. Okay, so that one's pretty cool. Um, but my favorite on this B6 in terms of an overdrive is going to be this um, Blue B bass overdrive. This joint is fire. And one thing that's important on any overdrive pedal is going to be a blend knob. You need, as a bassist, you need a blend knob. It is very important to keeping your um, keeping your booty. You can't the bass, you'll lose all your bottom end of your bass without a blend knob, for the most part. So, unless you're, when you're using these pedals, especially, in overdrive. So you can do like 69% here. So this is 69% wet. See, we got So I really like this one. Um, it's pretty warm. Good amount of grit, or you could dial it back a good amount and still get some good flavor in there. So it's really just depending on what you like. But I prefer overdrive to distortion in general. Um, Even though I do play rock, various forms, progressive and all that stuff, and um, I'm just a warmer bass type of guy in general. You know. See go with this bass metal, which is that pedal. I think is that Boss. It might be a Boss pedal. I can't remember who it's made by, but it's like black and it's got like orange writing on it. Pretty cool, old school. Let's put this on 6970. Should bring it there. Let's start there. And so one tip that for you guys when using overdrive or distortion or just effects like that in general, or even octavers and things like that. Sometimes a noise gate helps. Um, these are the noise gate settings I'm using. That's what the Z and R is on here. It's just a noise gate. So without it, you get all that just extra sounds from the pedal, but a lot less. You could turn it all the way up and it wouldn't. You know, it'd be even less. So nice distorted sound there. Then we got, so those are more like the pedal type effects. They're going to basically be just the overdrive and distortion effect. Usually not too. Some of them have EQs with them, or some of them have tone knobs, things like that. But for the most part, with something like that, one of the most important features, if you're going to buy them separately, and it's not like an amp type distortion, that's what I would consider like the SGT, more of like an amp type distortion. Um, then, I mean overdrive. I keep saying distortion, overdrive, because those are pretty much emulating overdriven amps, right? So, I would consider any overdrive or distortion bass pedal that doesn't have a blend knob is not really doable for me. I really don't feel like doing it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I need, if you don't have a blend, I can't make sure I have my low end the way I nice and clean and tight and the way I want it to come through. Versus if I have to, if you just have distortion, or if you even, I would even recommend going with more bass oriented overdrives or distortions, just because one, these days they have plenty of them. Ain't like back in the day where you had to go through the guitar pedals to try out effects and stuff like that. Not really. These days you got plenty of options, right? So this would be an example of, let me see. Oh, I want to go. Give you guys an example. So So this is like a guitar effect, or overdrive or distortion that's meant for guitars is definitely going to have less body to it. So I'm gonna just flip through a few on the MS50G, which is a guitar pedal. So those are more for guitar. Yeah, they sound okay. And you could EQ those afterwards or add a preamp after that and beef it up. But um, let's just flip through some of the distortions on overdrives on an actual bass, something that meant for bass. So as you can see, it just they have way more body as a just in general. See, now we starting to get into like synth territory. See, what you might not have considered is your bass is when you don't have a distortion overdrive on it. It's more of a sine wave. It's like smoothing, right? Nice smooth sound bass, you know. Um, Nice smooth sound. When you add that, it makes it more of a saw wave. So essentially, you kind of already getting into like the sawtooth wave synth area, right? You take something like a poly blue and run that in there. You run that through a filter? Man, you run that joint through just something like, damn, a resonance filter. And see, like overdrive and fuzz and distortion and like even bit crushers, I would throw them in that category. Even though they are a separate thing, but I throw them. I use them in the same way I use distortions and overdrives personally. So I always throw them in the same category. But this is the resonance filter settings. For real, with a resonance filter, I would turn that dry. Oh, let me see something. And see, the fuzz is in overdrive, distortion, whatever you want to. It gives you that grit, like sand. It's like it's like water running down a smooth surface versus running down a rocky, sandy surface. It's like that's just the way I look at it, because the filter is going to come down anyway, right? The filter is going to close and open anyway. So water's going to flow anyway, right? Regardless, wherever it can flow. So, um, but it gives us something to grab onto. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Shatter. You know what that is? You know what that is? That's rain. That's what that is. That's right. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Don't let me get subscribe, like, and share. I need that. Yeah, I need that off you. I'm giving you all the tips and tricks and stuff. This ain't fire. But essentially, say you just had B24 or something like that. You can take something like this, and because an overdrive and distortion like this, you can make this one patch or whatever, or you can buy individual pedals. But if you buy individual pedals, remember you need the overdrive distortion pedal needs to have a blend switch. Most bass overdrives and distortions are going to have that though, but you got to make sure because it's important to the flexibility of your unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's super important. So I'm gonna take this there, and then I'm gonna add this OC2 type clone on here, just to show you guys that you don't need, you don't have to, get everything. You know what I'm saying? But this is a nice little patch you can make in pretty much any of the Zoom pedals. I have this combination of effects. So, it definitely fuzz definitely adds a particular type of texture. It's closer to overdrive, fuzz overdrive type thing. But it's nice and warm, and I really like that patch. I gotta memorize that. What's that one? Because sometimes it's hard to get back to these exact settings sometimes. But, anyway, so we don't need all this stuff. Boop, boop. Just a quick little synth tick there, if you want to make a quick synth patch, you just need a good fuzz there. Or bit crusher, something like that. But yeah, let's move on from here to the preamps, right? And these differ in a way that they actually color the sound. They color your bass sound a lot more than just the overdrive and distortion and fuzz does. Of course, they color it as well, but these ones really were kind of made like this Sans amp, Sans amp and MXR, DI Plus, stuff like that was kind of made to almost be like they're DI boxes, but they're supposed to sound similar to amps, or just help your signal sound better in the system. So they definitely color your sound like a amp would. So let me see what we got here. Bam. All right, here we go. definitely has some booty to it for sure. Definitely got some booty to it. Without it, even without the volume increase. Totally different sound. See, that's what I said about them coloring it. Of course, you can have it flat, but it's still going to color it also, you know what I'm saying? But here's what it sounds like, just the preamp with no blend, no dry blending in. So I'm going to run this into an IR real quick. Because I'm not really doing. I did a review on the distortion section of the Zoom B6, so this is not really a review of it. So I'm just, you know, I'm literally just running through settings I would use on, various distortion devices or different types of distortion and overdrive fuzz I use and how I use it and the sound I'm going for, why I'm using it, and what I'm thinking, like, texture wise when it comes into play. There's smoother overdrives that I use as well. This is a good time to go ahead and skip to the SGT, but I use the in the B15 mode with the grit all the way down. See how warm that joint is? And that's pretty much like a B15 being overdriven just very slightly. Just touching overdriven just a little bit. And certain little spots when you dig in adds a little growl. But for the most part, it's just adding like a little bit of saturation, you know what I'm saying? That's generally how I would use it. And even with the SVT side, same thing. But the real beauty comes in when you run that through a cabinet, you know what I'm saying? So that's a matter of fact. Yeah, we're gonna run the rest of these um, also through the bass amp. We're gonna run them as a preamp. Run them as a preamp to the. Oh man, I ain't got twisted up here. Boop, 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 boop. Ah, we in there. Let's go. Mind you guys, I did this video before, like an hour ago. I did a whole hour video, and then the joint decided that it didn't want to show you guys it, so it decided that I was going to do it again. So I'm doing it again. That's how much I love my fans. That's how much I love y'all supporting me, and I appreciate it. And I can't do it without y'all. So subscribe, like, and share. Ta-da! So we're going to throw that in there, and then we're going to also add a send and send it out to the amp. Right? So we're not going to send the IR. We're going to send the dry signal only. So essentially, I'm going to use this like a switcher. And oh no! Oh, guys, I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. But it already good. Okay, it already put the overdrive there. Bam. But I just need to change this back to there. And take that off. Put that on. Bass. Treble. Let's do the mids up, and let's bring the bass was fine around there. Let's bring this treble back. We don't need all that and all this presence. We don't even need this much distortion. Bring that volume down. Let's bring that split up. Okay. So we're gonna run in two different ways. So we're gonna run the IR first, right now, and then I'll switch to the real cabinet, which is mic'd up with a Zoom H5. Sorry, guys. No, well, I was like, why does it sound? Why is like extra booty on here? All right, so I had on two preamps. Sorry. This is the SGT on the SVT side with the same settings I just was using, and I'm using this Aguilar 410s with a tweeter as the IR cabinet, mic'd up with a SM57 and a RE20. So it's two impulses together. B15 side. Yep. So that, and then you got this Sans amp driver. Well, before we move on, let's go to the actual amp. And we just would mute that. And SVT side. So there you go. That's the amp, the real cabinet in the room, and let's go back to the IR and the Sans amp. the Sans amp as a bass amp. And we're gonna turn that up so we can just flip them back and forth. So that's the Sans amp compared to the MXR, right? So now we're gonna have the MXR running through the IR. Let me just adjust that slightly. Bam, bam. All right. Right, so that's the Sans amp as a preamp for that. But we're gonna see what it sounds like coming through an actual amp. Oh, I didn't turn that off. Okay, that's sorry. I gotta make sure I turn that off. All right, and then the actual amp. So yeah, they work as preamps as well for when you run them to the regular amp. I do like this BBE. I said BBE. Um, it's an exotic boost clone of the BB preamp. BB. Yeah, I think it's just BB. Yeah, so that works also. But let's go ahead and jump ahead to this clear drive. This is my favorite overdrive preamp pedal. I mean, this joint is fire. But 250, we gonna bring them back. This joint's fire. We gonna run this through the preamp through the IR. First off, we're gonna run it by itself because the joint's fire by itself. That joint fire. I don't even know what to say, Zoom, on that one. That's y'all best overdrive right there. This joint's fire. So remember, this joint's on the B242. That joint and the 1073 pre on here, them are my two favorite ones on here. They both fire. 1073 is clean though. This is, and I usually not big into them like that with the overdrive and distortion, but this one is fire. Okay, all right. So we got a couple more things, and we getting up out of here, guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Hit that super thanks, hit that cash app, cash sign Reggie Payne bass. You know what I'm saying? Help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? $1 go a long way over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll take $1. You know what I'm saying? I'll take $2. I'll take 50 and 100 too, but I'll take 100. I'll take $1, $2, 50 cents, whatever you got. I think it only let you do $1, or two. But yeah, I'll take it. I'm with it. Hey. So now we're gonna do another quick amp. Let's go through some of these nice little SVT situation. And I think we should drop that. But here we go. So with the actual cabinet, which is a Fender Bassman Neo 115, by the way, subscribe, like, and share. Because y'all be forgetting to subscribe, y'all be forgetting to share, and y'all be forgetting to like. So I need you to subscribe, like, and share. I got you guys. Appreciate it. All right. And where is it? Sun amp. Add the IR. That was just the real cabinet. Here's the So that's a Fender Bassman overdriven. So like you definitely with amps, you definitely get a different even saturation with it. This is a acoustic bass amp. Here's the real cabinet. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much um, how I would use distortions and overdrives and things like that. And those are some tips and tricks for you. If you're buying a bass overdrive and a fuzz or whatever, um, make sure it has a blend. Make sure it has or a dry and a wet, separate signals. Something where you can keep your dry signal in there. Um, in my opinion, try to find something that's nice and warm and having something that that adds some nice saturation when it's not overdriven as much. Can be a bonus feature. Like I did with the SGT. Those are my how I was running the B15 with no grit. I mean, well, the grit is still on, but it's just all the way down. So it's just um, right at where it'll break up if I dig in. It'll give me just a little grit if I dig in, but other than that, it's just giving me saturation. But if I turn that knob, I can easily get some dirt on there. So um, only effect that overdrive and distortion effect that I have that I didn't show you guys that I like um, would be the dirt effect in Guitar Rig. Guitar Rig has this joint called Dirt. It's a yellow and black effect. It's nice. It's very warm to be a plug-in effect. You know what I'm saying? It's mad warm and it feels that overdrive or dirt over it's an overdrive and distortion because it actually can run. It has two separate distortion signals that you can run separate or you could run them in series. So it's little stupid stuff like that that just makes effects amazing. Like just when you think you figured out distortions and everything else and how they sound, here comes another one that sounds completely different. And as you can see, all of these sound different. So you just got to kind of pick which one you like and what type of sound you go for. If you want something really, really gritty, you're definitely gonna. If you want something really that's gonna be cold and like if you're into certain types of rock, you're gonna want more of a distortion pedal. But there are very warm distortion pedals now. Um, if you're into like jazz and blues and stuff like that, an overdrive pedal can do you well as well. You know what I'm saying? There's occasions, especially like in blues or like you know country and rock settings, you know what I'm saying? Like where you can use a little bit of dirt on your signal and it'll sound good. It actually will make it feel good. That's why ampeg has been so famous. They give you a little dirt on your sound, when you need it. So I would say definitely check it out and you know, make sure you're not overlooking overdrives and distortions and fuzzes anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you're a bass player and you're not used to them, try them out. And if you are into them, you know, um, comment below with some of your favorite overdrives and distortions. Just let me know, especially the analog ones. Let me know. Um, so I'll see if maybe I'll check them out and do a review on them. But this has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus, Negus. Find me on all social media platforms. Go to allbasscreations.bandcamp and get all my music. You know what I'm saying? Hit me in the super thanks and the Cash App, $ Reggie Payne Bass. I would greatly appreciate anything y'all send me. So definitely check me out next time. Peace.